Hey everybody, how's it going? Recently got this Camillus scout knife, and it was a nice knife. I really liked the patina. It needed new scales. You can see the old black scales. They were flaking off, and there was so much junk underneath them. All the footage that I had up to this point of prepping the knife to putting the scales on was all on a different ratio, so it just didn't work out. I had that clamped up in that vise for a week. I made that spacer to fit in there, and I wrapped it in masking tape so that I could easily get it out. So for 7 days I let this epoxy set up, and here you can see I'm just coming in with this cutoff wheel, and I'm just kind of frigging this up a little bit because I had some squeeze out there, and I have to get the spacer out. So I got those cut, and I'm going to pull this out. And it worked out good. It pulled right out. I was very glad it did its job well. I needed that in there so I could squeeze that tight. I didn't want to crush that in that vise. And I just needed to add a little bit of pressure, and that really helped. And look how that masking tape just kind of filled that whole thing and kept the epoxy from getting in there. I had a little bit of squeeze out on the inside, but the inside wasn't prepped at all. So it just cleaned right up. And here we are with the belt sander. This is a 4x36 belt sander with a new 120 grit belt on it. Do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Probably try to avoid that there, yeah. But I'm removing as much material as I can. I don't want to do anything that would be irreversible. So if I really take a lot of material off of the bolster or anywhere that I don't want to, I just can't go back and fix it. So I'm being super careful, taking off just a little bit at a time, really watching what I'm doing. And I really enjoy working with this red oak. These scales, I had prepped these scales and made them, cut them out of a big slab, and then I tested them with a moisture meter. And they were around like 8%. So I put my oven on like 170 degrees, and I just kind of periodically would stick them in there, let them cool off, and I dried them out to where that moisture meter would not read anything on these scales. They were bone dry. This is all shaking up nicely. And here we go. See, we're just removing just enough because we are going to finish the rest of it by hand. So I'm back over here at the bench, and I'm going to get ready to start profiling the handles into the bolsters. I honestly did not expect those pins to pop out, but they did. And it ended up being okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get me a good stick, and I'm going to get some adhesive backed sandpaper. Check out these scissors. I got about 3 pairs of these around the shop. These were so important to someone at one time that they actually carved their social security number in it. I don't really know what grit this sandpaper is. It's 120, 240. I got me a nice hard stick there, and I'm going to use this sandpaper. This stuff is good. You can wrap this around a felt bob or put it on a stick or on a blade and use it in a profiler. But I'm just gonna shape this handle by hand, nice and easy, taking my time and profiling the bolster into the handle. And it just didn't take that long. And I didn't use that much sandpaper either. I think I probably used about 4 of those little pieces that you saw me cut and put on there. Alright, we've got it all sanded down. I still have to address the easy open. And here you can see that tiny little flicker of brass. Yeah, you see it. And we can find another one. Oh, there it is. No big deal. We're going to work on this easy open here. I've got a little bob with 1/8 inch shaft in this rotary handpiece. That's like a worn out piece of 80 grit. And we are just going to take our time. Nice and easy. I'm just going nice and easy. There's no going back, so we're just taking off minimal material. Knocking off that sharp edge there. And you can see how nicely that lines up. Just beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and buff the bolsters. I am not putting that much time into this. So the handle was pretty much the extent of the work that I'm doing here. I really like the patina on the blades, and I sanded on the bolsters, but I'm not going to really get down to polishing them. So I'm just going to use some yellow diamond and a hard felt bob here. And I'm just going to kind of round over all the rough stuff on the end of the bob. And I'm going to get her shined up a little bit. It cleaned up nice. It needed to be done. There were sharp edges for me over on the belt sander. Everything needed to be smoothed up, and I didn't want to do it on the big bench grinding buffing wheel because I didn't want to hit the wood on there because the wood is unsealed at this point. It's just raw red oak. Here I've got some denatured alcohol, and I am just going to clean the whole knife off. Just prepping it for the finish. We're getting down to finishing the wood, and honestly lately it's a preferred finish for me on old carbon steel blades. I've been putting wax on everything and really enjoying it lately. It's so nice. This wax I use when I carve spoons. It's a food grade wax for cutting boards, and it does so nice on spoons that I whittle. And I've been putting it on carbon steel blades, and you can see how nice that is. It's I don't know exactly. It smells like beeswax. There's beeswax in it. And just the warmth from my hand in that can melts it a little bit, and then I can rub it on that knife and it hardens up. After I get the whole knife coated, I'll set it down and I let it sit for probably 15 or 20 minutes. And after it's sat, I come back and I'll get me a paper towel. Just a fresh paper towel, and it's almost not tacky, but I mean it's sticky. So I'm just buffing that wax now. I'm just gonna buff it, and it's on there. I'm just buffing it. And I do the whole knife like this. And I just love it. I love the way the patina and that wax on there. I've been doing it on my old pocket knives, and it really prevents, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I would put oil in my eye, but I don't mind getting it in my mouth. But when you got a fresh apple, and it tastes like 3-in-1 oil because you just put some on your old knife, it's a bummer. And that wax, it changed the game for me. I'm just honing a couple of the blades. I really like that spear point main blade and this little awl here, or punch, whatever you'd call it. It is as sharp as can be. And here's the finished knife, back at home. Turned out really good. I ended up coating it in wax. I did that twice. I did it again, and I wrapped it in a paper towel, and I stuck it in my pocket. And I just kind of went about the rest of my day, but she's a beauty. It's not that snappy. It's got a little bit of snap to it. That bottle opener, it's got some snap. And it's sharp. You know how them old knives, they get so sharp. And I've got a little bit of misalignment when you open a couple of the tools in the wrong order, but it's just something I'm going to have to get used to, and makes it unique to me. I appreciate you guys watching.